My name is Jake Fekete. I'm a customer success manager with Holland Supply Company. We work with gas utilities in the area to deliver gas meters and regulators, odorization systems, as well as HSC Cloud software I'll be talking about that can map out utilities infrastructure, document and record maintenance, and streamline compliance reporting. So today we're going to be talking about using leak inspection data to reduce gas loss. So we've talked to a number of different utilities in the area in Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, and talked to the public service and public utility commissions as well in that area. And we've learned a couple of things that utilities are kind of struggling with that we know that utilities are looking for more help with. So this would be digitizing work forms, visualizing where gas leaks are, or having gas losses too high and trying to find out where your gas loss is and how to reduce it. And talking with public service commissions, and I was at the KGA Expo a little while ago, and the two top findings that the public service commissioner had was that utilities were not maintaining records properly, and utilities were not properly documenting or mapping their leakage surveys. And so this is something I know utilities are looking towards, trying to have better processes, trying to improve their processes around, and I think it's an area that HSC Cloud and Holland Supply, we can help you guys out with reducing your gas loss by documenting your leaks and recording your leakage surveys digitally. So some of the questions we're going to answer today are: why is it important to digitize your leak mapping and inspections? How this will save your utility time on paperwork and reporting, and how mapping these leak inspections digitally can give your utility more visibility into your asset vulnerabilities. Having more visibility into these vulnerabilities will answer how this information can lead to better maintenance activities in your gas system, and how that can actually reduce the number of leaks in your gas system, which in turn reduces the gas loss in your system as well. So some regulatory trends looking at the industry. This is the Pipes Act of 2020 from Section 114, and this is just one or two examples of regulatory trends. We know more of these are coming on regulations that are going to have you guys eliminate more leaks, reduce the release of natural gas, reduce the emission of methane into the atmosphere, and address pipelines that are known due to their material design or past operating and maintenance history to potentially leak. And so being able to map out and document your leak inspections, making sure that you have all your leaks mapped out, can give you more visibility to seeing where those pipelines are that have the most vulnerabilities, that are leaking the most. That way you can go ahead and prioritize. If you're doing a big steel pipe replacement, you can prioritize replacing pipes first that leak the most, therefore reducing your gas loss early on. And we know that more of these regulations are just coming. 192, 1007, as well as just, this doesn't directly involve gas leaks, but it's a similar trend of considering information gained from past design, past maintenance, and past operations, and using this maintenance or using this information into your future maintenance and into your future construction. Recording your gas leaks digitally, mapping these out will help you guys be able to make better decisions in the future, make better decisions on whether it's pipe replacement or new pipe, prioritizing the assets that you want to replace in order to reduce your gas leaks. So in one picture, this is what we're talking about. This is a leak inspection form from a utility we work with, and we took their leak inspection form and we were able to digitize it. And we'll be using this leak inspection form in the demo. I'll show you guys a little later on. And we were able to take their inspection form line by line and digitize it to where, as a utility, you want to make sure you're doing your processes the exact same way. The only difference is you're recording this information digitally instead of on paper. And here's another picture of being able to map out all of your leaks. This shows leaks mapped out over a residential area. We'll show later on leaks mapped out over pipelines, over valves, over regulator stations, so you can see where your leaks are and where you're most vulnerable. So we have a software that Holland Supply can provide called Holland Safety Compliance Cloud, or HSC Cloud. This can map out your critical infrastructure, document, schedule, and organize inspection and maintenance work digitally, and streamline compliance reporting and audits. I'll show you some examples of this when we talk specifically about gas leaks and how mapping out these gas leaks, doing your leak inspections digitally, can reduce how that can end up reducing your gas loss by being able to see where your leaks are visually and being able to analyze more into where those leaks are coming from and what the source of those, how many class 1s and class 2s. You'll be able to see more of that. So we have you want a customizable map that can document and analyze the locations of leaks, seeing where those leaks are in a map, and being able to break down leak density near key assets. Our HSC Cloud platform can also integrate your leak mapping with Esri ArcGIS. So if you're already using a GIS, but you're not using that to document your leak inspections, so you're not mapping leaks on there, there's programs like HSC Cloud is a great way to be able to integrate those two and have them talk to each other. So you can map out your leaks and do all your inspection and maintenance work through digitizing that through HSC Cloud, but then being able to pull that into Esri. One other example of being able to map out leaks is maybe you have, we work with the utility right now that has 7 different areas. So they have region A, region B, region C, all the way 1 through 7. And so being able to map out their leaks digitally, they can see, okay, which region has the most leaks, which region do we need to maybe spend the most time on maintenance, which region do we want to replace steel pipe on first, being able to map all those out and select one region or another and being able to analyze to see which regions are most vulnerable. So that's something you'd want to consider, as well as being able to break down your map into different regions, which is something that HSC Cloud can't do. Then if you're mapping all your leak inspections out digitally, you want to be able to do the work on that digitally. So you want to have customizable forms. So again, you're keeping your processes the same. You're going to do leak inspections the exact same way you've always done them if you go to a digital system. The only difference is you're documenting it digitally instead of on paper. All those forms, all those lines are the exact same. You want customizable forms to keep that the same. You want date, time, pictures. Maybe if you need any calculations in the background, can do all of that so that your forms are easy to work with for the technicians. And you want to be able to document these forms on the map leak. So if you click on that leak on the map, you can pull up the previous leak inspection forms that were done on that leak. Next up, HSC Cloud can automate leak repairs on work orders. So an example of this is if you have a class 1 or class 2 leak, HSC Cloud can send an email or text notification to maybe it's the utility superintendent or the general manager saying, class 1 leak was just found or class 2 leak was just found. Here's where it was found. Here's the source of that leak. So then you can go back in and have more awareness into that. It can also create repair forms based on a leak inspection. So if you do a leak inspection and it's found to be a class 1 leak, you can have an automatic repair form that's assigned to your technicians right away that says, hey, you need to go out and repair this leak that we just found. Whereas if it's maybe a class 3 or it's not a leak, then you don't have that repair automatically generated. All that automation can be performed in the background with a program like HSC Cloud. So some golden rules for field data collection. When you look at collecting all this information out in the field, doing your inspections, doing your maintenance work, and collecting that digitally, digital systems can give you some advantages that paper systems can't. So you can make it easy for the field technicians to access forms and enter information and making sure they're accessing the right form at the right time at the right location and easily enter all the information there. Instead of maybe losing a form that they were going out on the site and then they have to re-go out and do it, or if they filled out the whole form at the site and then they went back in the office and misplaced that form, now we can digitize that so the forms won't be misplaced and it's simple and streamlined for the field. The second bullet point, geospatially aware. This is extremely important and something I know a lot of utilities we talk with now don't have that, especially in their leak inspections, where they're capturing data on leaks, but they're not mapping that out. So they may have a paper form that shows, they may even have a stack of papers that show all their class 2 leaks found last month. But without going to each form and looking at the address or maybe plugging that address into Google Maps, they don't have good visibility or awareness into where those leaks are. And so it's important that all the data that you're capturing is mapped out. Quality controlled, so digital systems allow you to avoid data entry errors. When you're entering things on paper and writing, we've all seen forms where you have either, a misplaced number or, some words that aren't very legible, and then you might have to go back out and visit the site again or just try to figure out what was written. So with digital forms, you just avoid all those issues, saving you guys time on paperwork. Drop downs are extremely important. So looking at the fourth bullet point there, an objective, drop downs allow you to filter through your data. So if you're collecting, if you're doing, let's say 30 leak inspections a month, and you're collecting, one of the fields on there is what was the source of the leak, and that's like a valve, pipe, fitting, service line, main line, regulator, meter. Being able to filter those could be really key to see where the most of your leaks are. Maybe they're mostly on valves, and you want to spend more time on valve maintenance, spend more time on valve inspections. But being able to have drop downs on those and being able to have those drop downs be sortable allows you to give you more analytics to see where those leaks are coming from and where you can spend most of the time on in the future fixing those leaks and repairing those to, again, just the big picture here is reducing your gas loss. And so the more you can see where your leaks are coming from, the more you can spend better time on maintenance activities to reduce that gas loss. Finally, audible, efficient, and retrievable records. Know this is very important. And with a program like HSC Cloud, you can access every form easily for audits and reports. And you can see who filled out the form, when, and where. And you can see also that form geospatially on that map, so you can see exactly where that leak inspection was done, who did it, when they did it, and the whole workflow there. So it just really organizes all your leak inspections to make accessing this information very easy for compliance reports and audits. So if you're mapping out all of your leak inspections digitally, and you're doing all your leak repairs, leak inspections, mapping all of that out digitally, you can automatically generate reports in HSC Cloud that can give you a summary of the monthly leaks you found every month or annual leaks you found for a compliance report. You can filter through these leaks to see how many are class 1s, class 2s, class 3s, how many were in maybe region A, region B, region C, see how many were on pipe versus on a valve versus on a fitting. You can really filter through and analyze a lot of information here. And you can have these reports built automatically to where you don't have to go through and spend 20, 30 minutes building these reports. They can be done automatically for you. You can also have PDFs generated for every leak you find. If maybe for every one that affects a customer, you want to give a customer a summary of that leak report, you could do that here. So it really just gives you the opportunity and ability to analyze the data that you're collecting in the field so that you can take that data and use it to perform better maintenance activities and try to figure out where most of your gas leaks are so you can reduce them in the future. So through your technician's eyes, documenting your leak inspection forms digitally will allow your technicians to access the right leak inspection form at the right time, make sure they're at the right location. So if you maybe get a leak called in from an address, you can map that out, and then your technician knows that they're standing at the right address, they're at the right location. Entering these leak inspections digitally can limit data entry errors by having drop-down fields and calculations performed in the background. Accessing leak information or leak inspection, so if you're going out and doing a leak repair, you can access that leak inspection form out in the field so you can see exactly what type of leak was found and where. And that way, when you're doing the repair, exactly what you need to repair. So you can see that inspection form since it was on the meter, on this fitting, so you can go through and repair it based on that information. Finally, through that automation, what's next is taken out of your technician's hands. So if it's class 1 or class 2 leak, you can set automatic notifications to where your superintendents and general managers are notified that there was a class 1 leak or maybe even a class 2 leak there. And then repair forms can be automatically generated and assigned to your technicians, so they don't need to remember to go back out and repair something if they didn't have the right equipment, or maybe a meter needs to be replaced. That can be automated, so you don't have to rely on word of mouth knowing that something needs to be fixed out in the field. That'll be automated and documented in real time for you. Through your superintendent's eyes, you'll have traceable, reliable, and complete records. You'll have prepackaged leak reporting automation. So being able to document all these leaks out digitally, again, will give you more visibility into where those leaks are. And because everything's digital, because you can have drop downs that are sortable, you can really analyze this information in real time. And so being able to analyze information on where your leaks are will lead to more productive maintenance scheduling, trying to reduce those gas leaks. So finally, just a quick summary here of some of the things we went over. mapping gas leaks can give you more visibility into where those leaks are, and knowing where those leaks are, knowing the source or maybe the region on where those are in your system, can lead to better maintenance scheduling. You can figure out, maybe you have one regulator station that has more gas leaks on average than all the others, and so maybe that's the regulator station you want to replace more or replace first, or maybe that's a regulator station you want to do different maintenance activities on maybe more than once a year. Maybe you have a couple valves in a certain location that seem to be leaking more than others, and so okay, these are valves we want to do maintenance on more than once a year. Again, if you're replacing a large amount of steel pipe, you can look at your gas leaks over the past year, see where the most gas leaks were found, and replace that steel pipe first. Therefore, reducing, keep trying to keep the gas in the ground, reducing the amount of gas leaks you have will ultimately save your utility money because you'll have less gas leaks. Keeping the gas in the ground leads to just annual cost savings for your utility. So I'm going to hop in now to our program HSC Cloud. And so I'm going to show you guys mapping out a gas leak and then the workflow associated with that, and then how mapping out that gas leak, how you can see your gas leaks mapped out, overlaid on different assets to lead to better maintenance activities. So in our program HSC Cloud, you can go to the map, and there's multiple different ways you can map out a gas leak. You can put in GPS coordinates. You can put in an address. And you can even enter it directly where you're standing if you're out in the field. So multiple different ways to add that. Here you can see I can map out a gas leak anywhere here on this map. I can drag this around. I can put this in the middle of the field. I can type in an address here, or I can even enter GPS coordinates. And then finally, if I was on a mobile device and I had my location on, I could click locate here and pull in my location and add it directly where I'm standing. It's good actually within a couple, 2 or 3 yards. So here I can fill out some gas leak information. So maybe this one is just in the middle of a field. Classification LEL, I'll leave this blank for now. I'll show you guys why in a little bit. But I'm saying this is found by the utility. Maybe I'm standing right here if I have my location on. I haven't investigated the leak yet, but it's in the middle of the field. And then you click save. And in real life, you'll probably want to be more descriptive than just field for description of surroundings, but put whatever you would find out in the field. So now what our program will do is it'll map this leak, and it'll automatically assign a leak inspection form to this that needs to be completed. So I believe it'll be right around here. Yep, here it is. So here's our leak inspection, or here's our leak that we just found out in the field. It is shown up as a red pin because it has a leak inspection that's due on it. So I can actually go into this leak inspection here. I can go into this leak inspection here and fill out the form if I'm at the field standing at that site. Now, these is all very customizable. So for your utility, we can take your form and build it into our system. So if you have different fields here that you would normally fill out for gas leaks, we can do that for you. So here you can see source, select the source of that gas leak. Here you can see the next line is description of equipment involved. However, if I click mainline, a second field will pop up specifically for mainline saying was line located and condition of line. So that's just something that where if I go here to meter, those two fields will go away. So maybe it is on a main line, the line was located, it was good, there's no excavation damage. You can fill out all information here. You can even upload photos. Then for LEL, put a random number here, and I'll make this a class 2 leak that needs repair. Here you have detection equipment used and equipment calibration date. I was at the KGA Expo in Kentucky, and the utility, the Public Service Commission, Commissioner was talking about how utilities are not documenting the detector that you're using or the calibration date, and this is something that needs to be documented. So in 2 minutes, I can go in here into our leak inspection form, and I could add fields there. So now in the future, we can document all of these leak detectors that are used and the calibration dates. If I sign and save this form, now it'll save this as a leak inspection was completed on this leak. However, it's going to create a leak repair form that then is automatically generated and assigned to your technicians, where then they need to go out and repair the leak that was just found. So once this saves here, it'll create that leak repair form that then we'll go out and save. Give it 1 second here. Alrighty. So now here's our gas leak mapped out. And here it'll show up as, it shows up as a class 2 leak. It gives that a little label. And then it shows our leak repair form here. Let's still do on this leak. So go into this leak repair form, and we'll complete this real quick. And then I can show you how you can see all of those leaks mapped out, overlaid on your valves, your regulator stations, and your services. So here you can see on our leak repair form, it pulls in all that information from our leak inspection, so you can have this information in the field. You can see where that leak was and all the notes that were entered associated with that. And then here you can document that you fixed the leak. So for this, I'll just be very simple about this. Probably want to put more information in real life. This is just a demo. But again, we also have a field, should this be rechecked in 3 months? If I put yes here, it'll automatically create a leak inspection form that's due 3 months from the time that this leak repair form was entered. That way, every 3 months, you can go back out and check this leak. You'll probably want to do this maybe if it's like a class 1 leak. But I'll save this leak repair form here, and then we can take a look at the map, and we can see all of our gas leaks associated with our system here. I'm going to zoom out on our map a little bit because this is zoomed all the way in on this leak. And let it pull in all this information. And so here I can see all of the assets we have mapped out in our system. Okay. So here, if I zoom in, I can see here all of these little green pins are different gas leaks we have in our system. And so if you're looking at maybe replacing all the pipe in your system, and obviously this is a very small little demo of an example, but you can see here, like, okay, we have a lot of gas leaks associated along this pipe. Not as much along this pipe, some in these residences, not as much along this pipe, but this pipe seems fairly critical to replace. Replacing this section of your pipe, if you're looking at, what pipe you want to replace every month, replacing this could lead to, again, scheduling smarter, better maintenance activities, being able to map out your gas leaks and seeing, okay, we have a lot of leak density along this pipe region. Replacing this pipe, or at least doing maintenance on this pipe, would be a good idea to potentially reduce your gas loss and save your utility money, saving your utility leak inspections also in the future by replacing this pipe. Because imagine if we could, in next year, have no leaks along this pipe, or at least very little leaks along this pipe. You guys don't have to go out and inspect this pipe as often, save you guys time, save you guys truck rolls, as well as saving you guys money on keeping gas in the system. You can take a look at leak density as well. You can see, okay, along this valve, we have multiple class 2 leaks. This valve might be something we'd want to look into replacing. This is a regulator station here. This regulator station might be something we're replacing because we're seeing a lot of leaks along that regulator station, whereas we're not seeing any leaks along this pipe here. Or there's a regulator station mapped up here. It's pulling in, and the way I built it, we're not seeing any leaks as well along here. Oh, there will be. Oh, and another thing here, so we can. I have all these assets that are mapped out, broken down into transmission assets and distribution assets. And so you can see here, there's a couple of gas leaks up here. For transmission gas leaks, I can remove those from the map or add them from the map. That way you can look at your system and maybe instead of transmission and distribution, you may have region A, region B, region C. So you can take a look at all of them mapped out, or maybe just region A mapped out, just region B mapped out, so you can analyze it in more detail there. Finally, we can go into that, talk a little bit about compliance reporting here. I'll open this up and then, we can go into that gas leak we just entered. And we can see here that a PDF was automatically generated when we created that gas leak today. There's a date 7/12 today, with that information that we found. So again, this can be printed out just for this gas leak. As far as multiple gas leaks go, if you want to look at all the gas leaks you found last month or last year, you can come over to the map, go to the reporting feature, enter your dates here, click export. To save time, I've already exported this. Going into Excel, you can pull in all of those leaks that we found, and here you can see just more breakdowns. Because we're documenting the source of this and this is all sortable, we can graph out the amount of gas leaks that we found based off of where they are. So here you can see maybe our main line is where we would spend the most amount of, where we want to spend the most amount of time on if we want to decrease gas loss. This is also very easy to refresh. So if I click, actually I want to click here, it can pull in the most recent gas leak that we found in our system. So there's that gas leak on 7/12 that we just did on that main line. And so that'll increase this column as well. So these are ways that you can have more visibility into your utility. You can, here you can see, you can map out, you can analyze where those gas leaks are, where the class 1s are, class 2s, class 3s are, and whether they're on your maybe local distribution or transmission assets. Maybe this is region A, B, or C, what the source of those are. And then finally, being able to map out your gas leaks, overlaid on top of your pipe, overlaid on top of your valves, your regulator stations, can give your utility more visibility into your utility's operations, allowing you guys more opportunities to have better maintenance scheduling, to save your utility on leak inspections, to save your utility on gas loss by seeing where your leaks are and scheduling pipe replacements, regulator inspections, valve inspections, valve replacements based off of this data.